Welcome back, everybody. Well, today I'm gonna, as you're gonna see through my videos, I've got too many projects, and this is a parts truck that I got a couple of years. Well, I probably had it about 3 years now. Anyway, it was a front end collision, and I was gonna just take the parts off this one and put them on my rusted out beater that I drive, my daily driver. But given the economic climate that we're in and the fact that you can't get new trucks and that I have too many trucks, and there's a whole bunch of factors that play into this one, as I'll explain, and if you keep following my videos, you'll hear the whole story. But I had some trucks parked in a place, long story short, and I've got to get them back to my house here. So I've got to move the trucks off the property they were stored on, basically. And this truck has always been at my place. I just never got around to taking the parts off that I want to put on my daily driver. And I started looking at it, and I was thinking that you can't get new trucks, and I'm looking at what people get for older trucks. This one was a front end collision, but it wasn't that bad. I wish I had some video of what it looked like, or even a still picture of what it looked like when I first brought it home, when the bumper was still on it and stuff. And if you saw it then, you'd probably say, no, you can't, there's no fixing this truck. But then once you get a couple of the parts off, and if you've ever fixed stuff like this, you take a few of the parts off and look at it, and it's actually not that bad. But like a true junk collector, I want to get this thing back in action, and I want to see this truck live on to drive another day, because I think it's too good to scrap at this point. So anyways, what happened is somebody hit a Jersey barrier, I think, with this one, and they bent it up. And like I say, when you first see it, I wish the broken, bent up parts were still on it that I've taken off. It did look bad, and people were talking about, well, friends of the guys I got it from were saying that because of the way this fender was bent, it's a write-off, and there is a little bit of some damage to the front of the frame here, but it's just in the front of the frame. Now, so one of the misnomers about that is some people think as soon as a frame gets some damage done to it, it's instantly a write-off. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not true. And in this case, it's not, because the damage to the frame is in front. And I know this because I had a truck that I got in an accident with that had this very similar frame damage. It was older, and it was a half-ton, not a Dakota. And it was fixed. And the guys at the body shop said, yeah, it's just a walk in the park for us. And then I found out later on in college that if it's in front of the wheels or behind the wheels, chances are you can fix it. If it's bent, if it's laddered, something like that, chances are you can't fix it. So this one can be repaired. So I think that's what I'll do. And the reason why is because I parted out a truck and built one out of two trucks. And the one I parted out was a club cab, and I kept a whole bunch of the parts. So there's a new grill for this one. There's not new, but a used good one, and a radiator. The thing that sucks about me using the grill on my parts truck is this one's all intact, in my daily, somebody cut all these vents out and put stucco wire in behind it, so it cuts your fingers if you don't put them in the right place when you're popping it. Then a grouse dive bombed the grill and busted it right after I busted a chunk out right here, which I saved because I thought I just glue it back in. This is on my daily driver, and that happened like the weekend I put it on the road when I got done building it. And then I just recently hit a deer, and it broke it even worse, and it broke one of the headlights out too. So I got that fixed. I had enough stuff kicking around from, now I've got 3 of these trucks. One is gone, one has been completely parted out, and I kept a whole bunch of stuff that I had left over, thankfully, and I'm just gonna fix this one. Because I mean, why part it out now when I could just go ahead and sell it? I need the space in my yard, and it's gonna be less work to get this thing fixed than it is gonna be to process it and then haul the frame and everything else away that I won't be using from it. And I think it's too good to part out. So I did some YouTube magic on it. If you're gonna fix one of these, I've already got the headlight out of this side, because I was going to put that in my daily after I hit the deer, the second deer I hit. All right. Yeah, my daily driver likes to go hunting. All right. You got to take that front shroud has if you're familiar with these trucks, has your washer fluid reservoir and stuff in it. Once you get that out, there's lots of room, and it's like 2 or 3 bolts to get it out of there. And then I had to take this front cross member out. Now, the one of the reasons why this truck looked so bad was because this front rad support piece here, it's just like the half tons. That supports most of your front structure. It's not really the frame or anything. So once this gets tweaked a bit, it takes everything with it. And the radiator went right into the fan. And the clutch fan even has a little bit of damage there. I got a spare, I might replace that. And I got the radiator, I've got the top fan shroud with the tanks in it. I've got a new electric fan because the electric fan in this one obviously got absolutely destroyed. So somebody, for whatever reason, somebody was already taking out the evap core or the condenser core here. I'm not too sure why, but I'll have to recharge the coolant system on the refrigerant on it. The air conditioning system is what I was trying to say there. So it'll have a fresh charge in it, so I know I'm going to pressure test this one, but I think it's okay. It's got a little bit of damage. I think that's okay. Most of the impact on this collision hit down below, and it bent this rad support, that main piece there. And when that, like I was saying, when that gets bent, it throws everything, it makes it look way worse than it is. And it bent up this front fender. Thing is though, I already have two new front fenders. This fender's bent a bit too, but I think I can reuse it. It's not that bad. If not, I've got one I can replace it with. That's a tough one to change because your computers and stuff are all mounted to it. In any case, the grill's shot, but like I was saying, I got that one there. And between the two of them, I got enough pieces that I'll be able to fix that. So, you got to get your radiator, get that this top cross member piece out and unbolt the fenders from this piece. The nice part about these trucks is the hood hinges aren't part of the fenders, so you can take the fenders off without having to take the hood and the hinges off. So you can see the damage here where it was bent quite badly. In the bottom there, it's kind of hasn't got the right angle it's supposed to have. Anyways, I saved this piece out of my daily, but it was rusted pretty bad. And I put my parts truck, one of the parts trucks, had a good solid rad support, so I put that in. And this one isn't rusted that badly, so where my spare one's rusted is down the bottom there, and this one's solid there, so I'm going to end up cutting some patches out of this one. Putting it in the other one, it'll turn out really nice and solid when I do that. And I've got most of this already unbolted here. Like I said, I'm just doing some YouTube magic to make the video a little shorter for you guys. So you're going to find that the horns and stuff like that are everything's bolted to it because this is sort of the front structural member of the body on these trucks. And this piece goes back underneath the battery tray. Take your battery tray out. Some of the evap system stuff is part of the battery tray. It'll come with it. But all in all, you can tear the front end of one of these trucks apart pretty quick. You have to do it to get the engine out. So I've had to go through that already. The reason why I'm leaving the radiator in right at this moment is I want to leave it hooked up to the transmission lines long enough that I can get this piece replaced, and then I can put my good used rad in here. But while it's apart, I've got to take this fender. This fender can't be saved, so I'm going to take that off, and I have the spare fender for that. So I'm going to slap that on. But the root of what I've got to do here before I can start putting it back together is get this rad support piece out. And it's been a while since I had one apart, so I can't remember if I might still have a bolt in somewhere here, or it might just be, even though I've got the bolt out of this frame mount here, it kind of sandwiches between there and here, and because it's been bent, there might be tension in there. That might be what's holding it. So sometimes you got to kind of pry this up without bending the fender, because it sort of just overlaps inside there. But anyways, it doesn't come out too bad. Sometimes what you got to do is pull one side out like this, ouch, without pinching your finger like that, and then see how it's getting loose on this side, and then you can slide the whole thing towards the driver's side. And I should be able to get that out of there. Anyway, don't have my camera tripod or anything here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out of there. But I probably have to splice it in. So the bolts that I was overlooking were right up in here, and they just hold, there's a lot that hold the fender into this front support bracket. And there's a couple more down there that they're sitting down there now that I didn't see. So this truss kind of piece will come with it. I'll pull this out, but I think it might go around one transmission cooler line. So anyways, you can pull the whole thing out this way, sideways. I wasn't worried about this fender, so I just pried that fender up so I could this bracket all bend in. And you got to watch this main harness here is routed all down below it, so it's nice and clean and out of sight and hard to work on. So, all right, so what have I got? Yeah, see what I mean? So I'll have to pull that truss piece off. I didn't really want that, mainly because I'm lazy. But I guess yeah, it's just one bolt here. Too bad my ratchet needs a charge. I don't have the charger at home. Come on, old. Oh yeah, juice to get that out. Good stuff. Anyway, so as you can see, it doesn't really take a lot. To get the front end part of one of these trucks now. Granted, I had the bumper and the bumper cover and stuff off already. That didn't take that terribly long, and it was bent up pretty bad, so I had to do some cutting and stuff to get it off. But in any case, she's coming apart, and now that this is out, pretty soon it's going to be going back together. I'm going to get that fender off because this fender actually buckled underneath. That's the thing about these trucks, is because this is all, the front structure is completely different from something like an old square body. And the fenders, the inside fender, if you haven't taken one of these apart before, and the outside fender are all one piece. So if this outside piece gets bent, chances are it tweaked the inside one. And when it did that on this truck, it broke the battery tray a bit here. It pushed the battery tray in this power distribution module up into the master cylinder. So it looked, like I was saying, it looked really bad. It looked like the firewall had been bent, the frame, everything on this truck. But when I started to tear into it, it's actually not that bad. It probably wouldn't be worth fixing if you were buying all brand new parts, but the fact is that I got most of the used parts to fix this one, so I'm gonna fix it. Like I say, I think it's too good to let go, or to part out. And my other truck, yeah, it's rusty and stuff, but I buy some new door bottoms, rocker panels. I cut the box sides off the parts, one of the trucks that I parted out, so I'll build some box sides out of those, I think. Fix it up. So anyways, I'm gonna leave this one here tonight, and I'm gonna get going on, I'm gonna fix this one up. I'll make a video. I already sandblasted the one that I'm gonna be putting back in. But like I say, you can see how this one, the main part of the impact was here where it bent, but it's actually twisted. I don't know if you can see that down there. See, it's kind of twisted and buckled. So you're never gonna get this thing straight enough because everything, the fenders and the rad and everything hang on it. So to try to get this, that side is kind of going up and this side is twisted the other direction. You can see where it's kind of buckled in here. So, but the bottom piece is solid and it's still straight. So I'm just gonna cut some patches out of this and weld them into the other one. It'll be plenty strong. And it'll be straight, and then I can start going back together again. So that's exciting.